Our summer sermon series begins with the theme, Live Out Love. Last week, Pastor Millie Snyder grounded us in that series with the words of the Shema from Deuteronomy. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and mind and strength, and you shall write these words on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And so last week, we passed out chalk so that households could draw a heart on their doorstep or on their driveway or in their back garden, as our bulletin depicts one of our families doing. So that as you come and go from your home this summer, you might pray and wonder about, how do I live out love? Today we'll be thinking about living out love to neighbor by exploring the text of 1 John 4, 7 through 14. And there's so many beautiful dimensions to these verses. First, their deceptive simplicity. Let us love one another, for love is from God. The repetition of the word love in these few verses, love is mentioned 15 times. The unique definition of the word love presented. This is agape love, which is God's unconditional love. I love how Millie Snyder referred to it last week as complete love. And then as we get to the end of the text, we hear an introduction of the word abide. It's kind of an old-fashioned word, right? Abide. If you love one another, if we love our neighbors, God abides in us, and we abide with God and with each other. Today, I'd like to zoom in on that word, abide, and to think of it as a particular way we can live out love to our neighbors. So this is going to be a sermon not on who is our neighbor. Our neighbor is who we cross paths with, right? In the beauty and complexity of our 21st century world, we're all neighbors. But it's going to be a sermon about how we love our neighbor. So listen to this text from 1 John. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God. Everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. The one who does not love does not know God, for God is love. By this, the love of God was manifested in us, that God has sent God's only begotten Son into the world so that we might live through him. In this is love, not that we loved God, but that God loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation for our sins. Beloved, if God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. For no one has seen God at any time. If we love one another, God abides in us, and God's love is made perfect through us. By this we know that we abide in God and God in us, because God has given us the Spirit of love, the Spirit of God. We have seen and testified that the Father has sent the Son to be the Savior of the world. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So the word abide, will you say it with me? Abide. In 1847, the Scottish priest and lyricist Henry Lyte penned the words to the hymn, Abide With Me, when he was battling tuberculosis. Do you think back then, almost 200 years ago, he could have imagined us here in the 21st century singing this song? I mean, it doesn't quite have the velocity and volume of Taylor Swift's Eras tour, does it? And it doesn't quite work with the hashtag Abide With Me. It's hard to create a TikTok story or a Be Real photo or an Instagram post with an Abide With Me kind of vibe. And yet I think the hunger that we have as 21st century pilgrims is for the presence and companionship the lyrics evoke. So I'd love for us to sing the first verse and the last verse together. Kelly is going to come forward. We are going to sing this quietly in both sanctuary and celebrate. The words should be projected on the side, and if they are not, they are in your hymnal on page 836. 836, we'll sing the first and the last verses. So let us be still in the presence of God. The hymn speaks, doesn't it, to the presence and companionship, the intimacy of the Lord our God, who is neighbor first and foremost to us in our helpless places, in our life, in our death, in our journey. God abides with us. Can we imagine, as people of faith, carrying that presence and companionship forth to a friend or a neighbor in need? And if so, to whom is God calling you to abide with? Could it be a call to abide with the senior high youth at the Montreat Youth Conference? Or a call to abide with your 92-year-old neighbor, a widower who still loves the latest movie with popcorn on a Friday night? Could it be a call to abide with a friend, with a walk at the golden hour and the beautiful light of day when everything seems a little bit more poignant and that companionship feels blessed by the color of the radiant light? Are you being called to abide with new companions on your life journey as you help care for another? Caregivers for one of your parents, therapists for one of your children, operators on the other end of a phone as you navigate new pathways for insurance or medical concerns. That might be a moment to abide. Maybe the call is to abide with your spouse, your child, your parent, or a coworker. I think one of the things we all needed to learn and we didn't realize it was given to us by Ted Lasso, right? How many of us have watched Ted Lasso? We just finished this week. Sometimes it's hard to know how to show up and abide with a friend in need. We don't always know how to listen or to love or to support each other because humans are complicated, neighbors and communities are complicated. And so one of the great pictures the Ted Lasso series gives us is something called the Diamond Dogs. The Diamond Dogs are the group of men who slowly show up and realize they're better together. Might be like the Tuesday morning Bible study and other Bible studies here. When one of them needs advice or wisdom or a sense of abiding from the Diamond Dog, they howl. And so they just go, ah, wah, woo, and they all circle up. And then they listen to each other. They abide with each other. They learn how to love neighbor in that moment. here's the one thing I want you to remember about the word abide. The etymology of the English word abide literally means to wait onward with. Onward, O-N-W-A-R-D. I love that. We show up, we sit, we be still, we get centered, we stay. We show up with quiet and present strength, and we linger and wait with future hope. Can you imagine all of the places that you might be called then to abide with someone? We wait with present strength and future hope. I began thinking about the practice of abiding after reading a really wonderful novel by Elizabeth Strout, and it's literally called Abide with Me. Many of you have read Elizabeth Strout's other novels. This one's lesser known, and it's a story of a New England minister back in 1957 or so, and his name is the Reverend Tyler Caskey, C-A-S-K-E-Y, and you'll notice it's just a letter away from the word casket. He is faced with death, he is grieving, he is raising 2 young daughters. And as he tries to pastor this church in his own small town, we learn that every character in the book is grieving. They've all lost something. The housekeeper, the veteran disabled by PTSD, the well-meaning but intrusive school teachers, the local town and church gossips. They're all struggling with loss, and what happens as you watch the story unfold is they can't figure out how to abide with each other. They can't figure out how to show up and listen and to be still and to wait onward with. And so what happens is they all just keep bumping into each other, exchanging cordialities, and they rub elbows, and sometimes they get bumped or bruised in the interchanges. They don't know quite how to show up to one another. And I think what happens as the reader follows along in the story is you just begin to ache more and more for the sense of loss and for the sense of missed opportunities. And we can only imagine what Elizabeth Strout's book might look like in 2023 America. Who would be the characters in the book? What would those bumps and bruises look like? And what would it look like for a moment of transformation for the Holy Spirit to kind of come along and for people to be able to show up with strength and comfort to wait and be with another person? What I want us to wonder about today is, to whom is God calling you to wait onward with? And what strength do you need for that journey? What do you need to wait with present strength and with future hope? The Leviticus text today always sounds so strange, right? This isn't our language. But the Levitical laws encourage the community of Israel to wait onward with the poor and the oppressed, the hungry and the widow, the marginalized, and those for whom justice has not been found, to do better about reaching those people in their community. And so this text says simply this: leave the edges of your field. All the harvest that's there on that 10% around the rim would be like the edges of this sanctuary, and let the passerby, the person who is in need, stop and pick up what they might need, and maybe we could abide with them and have a conversation and hear their story and offer a blessing and a prayer and some hope along the way. What I love about the text from Leviticus, as odd as it sounds to us, is that it's not a story of scrimping or the leftover. It's preserving what's most important and letting that blessing be an opportunity to connect with others we might not otherwise abide with. And of course, Jesus shows us over and over again how and who and where and when to wait onward with. To invite Zacchaeus to dinner, to show up to Mary and Martha, to illustrate compassion through the Good Samaritan or the prodigal son, to not be surprised when your roof is torn open and someone needs a healing touch, their friends let them in, and all of a sudden somebody new and surprising is abiding in your living room. And God shows us how to have mercy and compassion and to wait onward with them. Now, much to my daughter's chagrin, I am mentioning Taylor Swift twice in this sermon. Could Taylor Swift be showing us how to abide? To gather up a generation of young adults who are disheartened by politics and race relations and climate change, who are isolated by social media and the pandemic, who are filled and reeling with complex emotions, who are looking at all of us to make things better, and we haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. And she doesn't just wait onward with them, she tells them how to wait onward with each other, to abide in a community where you pass out friendship bracelets as 21-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds. All of a sudden, parents and teens and friends and grandparents and security guards are all abiding together. And they wait onward in the night sky. They wait onward with parents and lyrics and friends and a community of people who give them present strength. Who are you called to wait onward with? And I think the funny thing about waiting onward is that it takes different energy for different groups of people, right? Waiting onward isn't always going to have that abide with me vibe. If you show up here tomorrow morning at about 9:45, you'll wait onward with 300 plus kids and volunteers, weekday wonders, all of whom have gathered up for a stellar vacation Bible school. We will abide and wait onward together with energy and joy. Our teens will wait onward on sailboat boats. Teens who are tired of social media will set that aside for the week and feel instead the tides and the currents and the sunsets and conversation. We wait onward here in grief groups through Stephen's ministry. We wait onward in morning prayer every weekday at 8 a.m. We wait onward with leadership listening and responding to the complexity of what is faithful and doable for 21st century life and discipleship. And we wait onward here in worship together when we listen for the holy, we find comfort in each other, we sing, we gain strength, and we center ourselves for the week ahead. I don't know about you, but I surely don't do it right all the time. And there's definitely situations and places in my life where I need renewed strength for that waiting onward. So I am going to tell you today my secret place here at this church where I go and get a little zap of Holy Spirit energy. If you go to the Welcome Center after worship and you walk out to the right on the portico side toward the cornerstone, if you look to the left, right there on the edge of kind of the inner drive-through and where the portico ends, you will see a small heart in the concrete steps up, and you can see it here in the concrete path. I think if we're going to live out love together, this is a great place to get centered here at this church on our doorstep so that we can come and go finding strength to live out love, to wait onward with all whom God is calling us to, and to find here in this quiet moment a time when you can abide with God and God can abide with you. Let us live out love together this summer. Let us report back to each other and let us all know how it's going and how we can encourage one another. Amen, and thanks be to God.